that were present there. And all of them, every last one of them, was condemned to a life of bondage and abject servitude. Remember the Great Pyramids? The slaves built them. And it is estimated by some that in the building of the Great Pyramids, the three pyramids, probably 100,000 slaves lost their lives in that. Your life meant nothing if you were a slave. That was the future that Joseph had as he rode or walked probably with that caravan going into Egypt, this 17 or 18-year-old boy. Somewhere along the way, something changed. I like to think that Joseph may have said to himself as he was going down into Egypt, he may have said to himself, I am not going to let this define me. I am not going to let slavery tell me who I am. I will rise again. He changed. He made a commitment to his God. Gone was the narcissism. Gone was the pride. It was replaced by a kind of resolute humility. And it would be many years that he would have to endure this before he would rise again. For redemption, you see, does not come in our story that we've read today. It's far in the distance. This story, as you well know, is found at the very end of the book of Genesis. It comes right after the story of the patriarchs. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And this story, by the way, is the longest narrative in the Bible to this point. It has been given a name. It's called simply the Joseph story or the Joseph narrative. It's regularly regarded as one of the great pieces of scriptural literature. What happens right after the story of Joseph is the book of Exodus and the deliverance of Israel from Egypt out of slavery. And it tells about the Sinai covenant in which Israel is designated as the destined people of God. That lies in the future. Redemption is only hinted in this story. Remember the dreams? The sheaves bowing down, the sun, moon, and stars bowing down. All of this hinted that sometime in the future things would be different. Joseph would rise again. If I may steal a little thunder from the lectionary readings at this point, we realize that something is not said here that we know about. We all know this story. And we know that years later, the brothers come to Egypt to get food because there's famine in the land. And in that interchange, to make a long story short, they have to confront Joseph. Joseph has risen from slavery to become the prime minister of Egypt. And here he is in Egyptian dress, speaking fluent Egyptian. And these brothers come before him, and he finally, to make the long story short, he reveals himself to them. And of course they are terrified because they think their moment has come, and now revenge will be had. But Joseph instead says this. I'm quoting from Genesis 45 now. God sent me here before you. God sent me here before you to preserve for you a remnant on earth and to keep alive for you many survivors, So it was not you who sent me here, but God. He was able to see it, that somehow through all of this terrible betrayal, God had turned it around into redemption. Look at your life. Have you ever had a terrible experience or a horrible experience in the past in which you despaired of maybe even of life itself? But looking back on that now, maybe after years, can you say that some good came out of it? Something good happened because of that experience? Can you say that? Probably most of us can. As many people here know, I am a refugee from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, I know that having mentioned that name, I've just committed a no-no, because I was told in a disciple church you don't lift up another church and criticize it. But that's who I am. I come as a refugee to disciples. And I'm going to have to make this story real short because we're running out of time.